Good evening, everyone. Hope you can hear me. Welcome to a little bit later than usual Super League Game Week 15. Apologies for the slight delay, but that's how it is sometimes. Evening, Mr. Savage. Evening, Steve. Evening, Steve. Um, let's see what the crowds will be like, what the audience will be like for this kind of late-ish show. Evening, Mr. Campbell. As mentioned, oh, you can hear me. Okay, good, good, good. Excellent. I won't bang on about that then. Um, Great to have you here, and let's see what we've got in store for you tonight in terms of action. Badgers against Dudley, East Coast against Los Santos, some great games coming up. Exiles Vikings, Foss Road, Sanctay, Fulchester Stanley, Burn against Stackington, and finally Sloss against Haggis. So yeah, a bunch of interesting fixtures. East Coast against the informed Los Santos, probably the pick of the bunch for the neutrals, but plenty of excitement for everyone, including the neutrals, if there are any of them around. Um, if we just quickly remind ourselves of the results last time out, we had Foss Road drawing 0-0 with Dudley. We had Haggis and East Coast. That was another draw. Los Santos 4-1 winners against Fulchester. Sanctay beating Sloth Stackington 2-2 with Badgers. Stanley 2-0 win against Exiles. That's 2 on the bounce for Stanley. And of course, Vikings with that Hartford 1-1 draw with Northern Burn. So that's all exciting and all good. It leaves us with the table that we've already seen, but let's remind ourselves. East Coast, who were, what were they, 11-1 or something like that. I mean, it was going very well for them. It still is, but obviously dropped off a little bit in terms of results for them. Foss Road right behind. In fact, there's a bunch of teams right behind them, with Dudley and just above the line, followed by Northern Burn and Badgers, with a bit of a little bit of a gap down to Sanctay on 16, but that's another informed side. Sanctay, I think they're away to Foss Road perhaps this evening, which is obviously going to be a little bit of a tricky test for them, but we will see. We will see how they go. Back to the list of fixtures. Um, as always, I'll try my best to make sure that everyone is around before I kick off with the various games. But yeah, it's always best to have the managers here. I know that Alf won't be able to join us, and I know that Ian's already here, so we can effectively kick off with Sloths against the Haggis. So that might be an option. I can see that Vikings manager Steve is here as well, and I don't think Neil's going to be about at this point. Staggington is here as well for the Northern Burn game, so we've got plenty to get stuck into right away. I think we are going to go Sloths against Haggis first, just because, as mentioned, Alf won't be able to join us this evening, and I see that Mr. Campbell is here, so that's probably where we're going to go first. So, without further ado, let's have a look at the Sloth's tactics. Another tweak from Alf, and a little bit more of a familiar looking formation to many Super League managers. I think this one's been doing the rounds since about game week 1, season 1. Um, Although people were still playing 4-4-3 in those days. But we have Vagan and Woodgate at the back. We have Toneto on the left hand side, Manuel Pablo rather, on the right hand side, and then sort of a narrower lineup with Amoroso, with Brooking, with Alp, a little bit more traditional than what we've originally seen from Alf. But he's got high hopes for this one, and of course Spartak's loss, a side that everyone probably would like to see you doing well. It's been a while since Alf's had a playoff team, but maybe they can still make it sloth, but they will have to start picking up some points. Up against the Haggis, very limited in terms of changes for them. I think Anelka coming in at the left hand side of the attacking formation there is probably the only change from memory. There are of course deals coming up for Haggis. We will see some interesting faces in the Haggis side for the end of the season, for the last whatever games, and yeah, plenty of if not controversy, then at least interesting talking points coming up of the transfer show. Am I enjoying the delights of Denmark? Well, yes and no. I didn't so much enjoy the train breaking down on my way from the airport that I'd been running to. So yeah, but apart from that, all is good. Decent strength coffee. What else have I enjoyed? Good beer. So yeah, all happy, all happy. Good. Sloths against the Haggis. Let's get the show on the road and see how we go. Oh, we go with Anelka opening the scoring after 6 minutes for the visitors. Probably not what the Sloths wanted to see with this new formation, with the four DMCs and the, oh my goodness, there's Montella making it two. Um, Yeah, two, four across the DMC line and a couple of solid defenders at the back there. Well, I say solid, there's Woodgate, of course, but definitely not the start that they would have wanted to see. But Brooking pulls one back just before halftime. 4 minutes to be added on, and there goes the halftime whistle. Even Ross, bacon surely. No, no bacon yet. Um, I think it's a bit of a myth that Danish people eat a lot of bacon. We export a lot of bacon. I don't think we really eat a lot of it. Quite unusual to have bacon, other than for sort of special occasions, really. And then usually served with something else, not as a breakfast thing. But anyway, um, to the action. Three shots on target for Sloths and four for Haggis. So very good, very entertaining first half. Both teams have been doing pretty well. Fabio Cannavaro is on a 6, unusually poor for him, but everyone else is doing decent. Cruz is enjoying that role again at AMC. He's got an assist here, so that's looking strong for Haggis. We'll see if the manager wants to do anything at half time. Haggis says they'll go to 60. Oh, in Legoland. Very nice. Good that you managed to do it now, because I think they cancelled the flights to that particular airport because of government taxes or something anyway. So anyway, Makalele is on a 5, so he will have to go. I think, if I remember rightly, do we have someone who can go in there? I think it will be Raymer. Let me just double check Alf's instructions. I believe there's something about a 5. That's cause for concern. Fives, yes, indeed. Fives have to go. So that is the last we'll see of Makalele. I believe he was on a 5. Is that right? Yes, indeed. Raymer has to come in. Those are the conditions that are set out by the manager. So that's what we're going to do. I shall bring the game back. Indeed, Billund is the airport. The D is silent, in case you were wondering. Right, off we go till 60. See if that change is going to do anything for Sloths. Bring a bit more stability to that. Prevent the Haggis team from just running straight through and having a shot on target. And there comes Anelka. He's been very active this evening after coming back. I think from either injury or suspension. I forget. He was out for a while. Anyway, that's 60. Uh, Brooking to Elba. Elba is knocked over. Jeremies will walk for that professional foul. All right. Well, here we are at 60 minutes, and the Haggis manager has some thinking to do and potentially some switching things about a bit. Could also leave it, of course, or pull Cruz back to MC. Maybe we will see. Anyway, this is the 60 break as well, so we might as well combine the two. Haggis have dominated the early parts of the second half, but they are down to 10 men now, with Jens Jeremies going off there. Spreads Lopek all over. I don't actually eat butter. So no, I don't. But yeah, I could in theory. I could in theory. So this is what Haggis have to deal with. A man sent off, and Petkov on a 7, Cannavaro still on a 6. We'll see what manager wants to do with this one while he ponders his options. Sloths, they don't have anyone else on the well. Woodgate's on a 5, but there's no option to bring him off. In terms of condition, everyone is okay, so he will have to stay on. So that will be it for Alf for now. Haggis, Saeed for Montella. Saeed to DMC with long arrow to AM. These ones go away. Like this. Say to DMC with long arrow to AM. Either side DM remove arrows. It's got to be like this, hasn't it? Excellent. Good, good, good. Well, we will see if Haggis can hold on to this one. We roll until full time with Sloths not making any changes as they don't have any other suitable replacements for their players on a 5. But with 11 against 10, Alf will no doubt hoping to make the most of it and get that equaliser. But it's Pamoduka with his first goal for Haggis. The 10 men have gone 3-1 up. Disaster for the home side. New formation not working well, unfortunately for them, and it finishes 3-1. They did manage to have one more shot, although not on target. And it's yeah, as mentioned before, I think the rule of thumb is 3 games for a tactic to settle in, and obviously we will see if Alf will let them have that amount of time. Jonathan Woodgate not enjoying being a captain there, got a 5. Apart from that, it wasn't terrible, but yeah, indeed an enjoyable game to start, and a good result for Haggis there on the road, keeping up with the teams at the top, and temporarily I think moving into second ahead of Foss Road. So yeah, those are your stats this evening. Biscan got the assist. For Haggis. It was Daniel Cruz and Ibrahim Said with that the long arrow that paid off for them there as well. Pablo Car not been that impressive, steady, but yeah, came in, did well, scored a goal. Haggis will be happy. Excellent. So, who else do we have in attendance? We have Steve is of course here, Vikings manager. As mentioned, I'm not sure if Neil will be joining. I've not heard from him anyway, so I think we will go Vikings next up. And I've let Steve wait for quite a long time, I think, on some of the earlier shows. So we shall do Vikings against Exiles. Chiotis in goal, Ferdinand and Terry in front of them, Arcas, Simeone, and new man Volodenkov, or new starter rather, Volodenkov. In front of them is Van Bommel. They've got Del Vecchio. Kutuzov comes in on the right hand side of AMC, and Shevchenko and Kluivert are up front. Elmander's on the bench. I believe that is how the Vikings are going to try to win this one. Away to Exiles, always a bit of a tough task, but maybe they can do it. They were in good form last time out. Held a 1-1 draw with Northern Burn, an informed Northern Burn side, and yeah, could be looking up for the Vikings, but you'd probably be looking at trying to collect 3 points here because soon the gap will open up to the playoff spots, and then morale will start to be affected, etc., etc. So we will see how they go this evening. Exiles, meanwhile, are unchanged since last time out. They had a 2-0 defeat with Stanley. Manager sticks with what he's got here, and we will see how that works out for them. Milito is there. He could potentially come back in, Vargas as well, but we will see how Exiles do this evening against the Vikings. Vikings in their lovely grey away kit as we kick off the first half. Smooch is there, other people are there. It's not really been working as well for Exiles in the last couple of games, but there they are, that man, the one who stands out as the recognized talent amongst all the normal Rocks finds is Christian Vieri, and he has opened the scoring. Vikings have conceded early, as they do occasionally, and Exiles take a 1-0 lead. No, they do not. They looked like they were taking a 1-0 lead into the break, but they didn't because Shevchenko managed to grab an equalizer just before halftime, and then Julio Arca goes off. Petr Pavel can, of course, come in and cover that left hand side as well. Alternative Emerson can come in, and Volodenko can go to the left. We will see what the manager wants to do. We can treat this as a halftime event as well. It's 2 shots, 2 on target for Vikings, 4 and 2 for Exiles. In terms of the player stats, as we saw there on the screen, it has been kind of okay, although Van Bommel has struggled a little bit. He is currently on a 5. Shevchenko seems to have been unassisted in scoring that goal. We'll let the Vikings manager consider this for a bit. Emerton and swap for Volodenko. Okay, that's great. And as mentioned, this is the halftime break, or we treat this as a halftime break. So if there's anything else you want to do, please let me know. Meanwhile, I'll just show Atletico Exiles quickly. Mike Duff is doing well. He's on an 8. Christian Vieri, of course, who was part of the group of people that were leading. I believe Pence has overtaken him now, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But Vieri is obviously still very much up there. Evening, Mr. Tato. Can I see the match stats again? Yes, indeed you can. The match stats are like this. 2 shots for you, 2 on target, and headers not doing particularly well, and your player stats are like this. Evening, Mr. Tato. If you are on, if you've got the sound on and you can hear me, then I sent you a message because, yeah, because yes, roll until 60, please, says the manager. Let's go. Exiles against Vikings, second half coming up. Is that that is fast? Oh, aha, indeed, that was halftime, and now we move into the second half. Terry hits it forward. It goes to Duff though. Duff is being obstructed. This time he comes forward. There's Casano to Tomasi and Volodenkov, I think it was, who broke that up. Um, Duff comes again, comes forward. Seen him a number of times in that first half. Not sure if they're getting particularly dangerous, those exiles, though, in those chances. It looks as if you kind of get the gut feeling that Vikings are a little bit more dangerous when they come forward. But there is Raul getting tripped by John Terry. Raul whips in the free kick, but Volodinkov is there to clear it away. He's been doing pretty well, I think. Volodinkov, that's 5-3 for Exile, still 2-2 for Vikings. Kiotis is doing well. Volodinkov is on a 7. John Terry's on a 7. Ferdinand's on a 6. Van Bommel's on down on a 5. It's not looking great. Patrick Paub is on the bench, could potentially come in as a central midfielder there, and do something. Kutuzov has been doing presumably kind of okay in terms of the passing, but not really created anything, not really been dangerous. One key pass in the whole game, and that was from Volodenkov. It's not looking ideal, to be honest. Plenty of key passes from the Exile side, and 7 and 8 across the board here. No real cause for concern in terms of performance or fitness, so probably stick with what they have. Meanwhile, we'll await confirmation from Steve if he wants to do anything with the Viking side, or if he's happy to just gamble. Elmander on the bench, that could be an interesting substitution. Kluivert Shevchenko could maybe be swapped as well. Delvecchio, Kutuzov. There's plenty of options here, plenty of things for the manager to consider in terms of trying to get a win out of this one. Half an hour to play, of course. Um, let's see. Van Bommel for Pauve. So we're going to do that. Swap with Simeone. Swap the two strikers. And Elmander for Kutuzov. Van Bommel for Pauve, done that. Swap with Simeone, done that. Swap the two strikers and Elmander for Kutuzov. Excellent. Get Pauve on, says Campbell. He is on. Onwards and upwards. We speed this up to full, and see if Vikings can find a goal here. It looks as if Exiles are creating a lot more in terms of chances. Let's just slow it down for the last 5 minutes here. There's a 4 minutes to be added on, so there's still another 6 or 7 minutes to be played. There's Charlie Chaos, there's Roberto Smooches there. Simeone obstructs him. There's an indirect free kick given. Let's see if they can do anything with this. Raul to say Roberto, and there's Raul putting it wide. Kiotis lifts the ball upfield. There's Casano. I mean, plenty of shots from Exiles here, trying their hardest to put this one away. Kluivert for Amanda. There's Amanda. Superb play by Vikings. They could have perhaps won it there, but they didn't. Instead, it's Charlie Chaos to Casano to say Roberto, again to Raul, but nothing comes of it. Then it's Vikings down the other end. Power to Ferdinand. Ferdinand to Power again into Terry. And I don't know why that was a highlight, but a couple of defenders passing the ball around, but it was. I thought they were going somewhere. Vikings held their own, certainly had a couple of good chances in that game. Good point away from home against the Exiles, who are still stuttering in their form after a very strong start to the season. We have a look at the Exile stats. Mike Duff was the one who got the assist, overall 7 and 8. Manager's going to be pretty pleased with that. Not the result, but everything else. Away manager, it's going in the right direction. I mean, they conceded, but they got one back. They didn't lose the game. Kiotis gets a man of the match award on an 8. There's still a lot of sixes in there, which is obviously not ideal, but something for the manager to work on. Need some creativity and a goal scorer. You've got Kluivert and Shevchenko. They're goal scorers, aren't they? I mean, in theory. Anyway, enjoyable game this one as well. Lots of excitement there in the second half, and a nice 1-1 draw for those two guys to enjoy. We'll wait a little bit with the Badgers game, and instead we will probably go with Stackington and Northern Burn. I think that's one that I will be interested in seeing next. Northern Burn at home, unchanged in terms of the unchanged in terms of the starting 11, but a couple of changes on the bench. I think Rust is one that comes in and Sadov as well. Barry Ferguson, who may or may not be on his way out. We will see. We'll get you on next, Tato. Don't worry. Um, presumably on mute. Northern Burn will take against Stackington, so just the one change there on the bench, or two, I forget. Anyway, Stackington has made a change on the bench, and it's Gustavo Lopez for Etu. Everyone else is the same, hoping for Marvin Andrews. Headers, of course, from Galca corners again, as they had such a great success with last time out. So let's see how Northern Burn and Stackington go in this one. Looks as if, ooh, what are we going to do here? Kalatsa, the straight swap, probably. Position, presumably straight swap for Kalatse. We will do it and wait for the manager's confirmation. But I don't see any other particularly great options. Yeah, Kalatse, please. Yep. But that's it. That's what we've done. Good start from Northern Burn. Stackington looked as if they had a chance or two, but according to the stats, they didn't. So we will just roll on and see how the rest of the first half. And there is Jardel with the opening goal for Stackington. An unlikely goal scorer. Jardel picked out of the reserves by the manager after having looked at some of the performances of the players down there and said, right, I'm going to give him a go. And he's repaying the trust of his manager, but just on half time, it's Aymar with the equaliser. The man with the 20s in the right places and plenty of them has equalised for Northern Burn. 4 shots on target, 4 shots, 3 on target, Stackington 2 and 1. That's how the first half panned out for those sides. It's Galka again with the assist. Incredible creativity from him at the moment. Ian says as is here at halftime. We'll wait and see what Alex says to this. Buffon's on a 5, Hippier's on a 5. Manager's obviously patient with him. Patrick Vieira is the one who gets the assist. Evening Dimble. And Stackington manager says roll as well. We will roll till 60 and see what happens here in the second half. I mean, there's the header from Inzaghi. Stackington looking quite dangerous, I have to say. Bit of a cheat code for them getting corners at the moment. I think Alke with probably with another corner there for Jardel to hit that ball in for the opener. But it's probably still Northern Burn looking slightly the stronger side. Kalatza there with a great tackle. And there was Galga with a header from Melberg, and Impenza cleared it off the line. I didn't know that he was instructed to come back on corners, but he was, and it worked out very well for the Northern Burn manager. Coming up to the hour mark now, and there we pause it potentially. Galka coming forward again, seeking out Jardel. He's been so dangerous, Galka, in terms of his creativity. Not with anything that you would ever expect to say. 5-3 for Northern Burn, 3-2 for Stackington, who are definitely still in there, still fighting. Igor Tudor and Joe Cole on 6s. Everyone else doing pretty well. We've got Gustavo Lopez and Jesper Grunke potentially to come on for Stackington if he gets fed up with seeing Joe Cole out there on a 6. Then the options are there definitely for Grunke. I think he can play both wings and he's either footed. So who knows? Maybe we will see the. Where was he playing? In Chelsea, maybe? Was it Grunke? I think he was playing in Chelsea. Doing okay, I guess. Northern Burn, here are the numbers. Ian's already said as is, with just Sade of an O in the attacking options on the bench. That's what it looks like. We will wait and see what Alex says in terms of any potential changes here. As mentioned, Jesper Grunke could be an obvious one. Cole, long arrow, Ronaldo, Rivaldo, long arrow, Tudor and Voigt, long arrows, 2. No substitution, just arrows. And Galka there as well. I mean, I don't know how he doesn't have key passes. I mean, anyway, won't dwell on won't dwell on that for much longer. Anyway, last half hour coming up. Can Northern Burn do something? Get 3 points at home? Would have been expected of them. And there is Candela making it 2-1. The home side have taken the lead. It looks as if the long arrows of Stackington has not really had the desired effect yet. Northern Burn looking convincingly comfortable as they used to do in the past, and they see this one out 2-1 winners. Northern Burn, perhaps unsurprisingly, certainly given the pre-match considerations. Stackington were definitely in it up until the hour mark, but after that it was all Northern Burn, and they went home safe and sound with 3 points in the bag. Barry Ferguson even getting an assist. Candela Man of the Match award out on that left-hand side. He's had a good season for them. Kalatza came in and did an 8th, covering for Asana Ndiaye. Yeah, manager's going to be pretty happy with that, apart from the injury. 68% though, so unlikely to be anything serious. Stackington, definitely, definitely some right moves, some right ideas, some things happening in the right direction. Northern Burn away from home, though, that is a tough place to find 3 points or one even. Should have gone as is. Well, yeah, you never know. I mean, that's hindsight. It's always 2020, as they say. Yeah, commiserations, Stackington. Congratulations to Northern Burn. But yeah, definitely Stackington much more in it in the last couple of games than in some of the previous games this season. Let's go back to Tato and to Steve. That was promised a little bit earlier. As mentioned in the slight note when when Tato joined the chat. He goes as is. I hope that's intentional, but either I've overlooked it, or I don't know, or we got sidetracked talking about something else. Edgar Davids is in here though, so Tato, if you are here and listening and want to do something, then now is your chance. I kind of guess that you might want Davids back. So if I've overlooked it, then apologies. But I'll give you a chance to to say something about it. Meanwhile, we'll just have a look at while we wait for that, we'll have a look at Dudley Hill. There's a couple of changes made here as well. I believe Fogel comes in for Desai. Gudjonsson takes the place of Ivan Helguera on the DMC line. Hedman is back in goal with Isaacson dropping out and Abiati moving to the bench. I believe those are the correct changes. Otherwise, Steve, feel free to correct me. Maldini, the captain, of course. Um, Lovely. If you want Davids on, then that would obviously be an option. But I'll give you a couple of seconds to confirm. If not, we'll roll. Indeed. Do you want him in or get him in for forward? Exactly. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Good. Next. Moving swiftly on. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Right. What am I missing about the deficit? You're missing the fact that instead of submitting the team, Tato and I had a very long discussion about other topics in which we probably forgot. Um, in which we probably forgot that he hadn't actually submitted his team. So, so that's it. Anyway, Badgers at home to Dudley Hill. Let's kick this one off and see who runs away with the 3 points. Will it be Sigalco and the boys? Will it be Dudley Hill? With a couple of big names back. And it's Maxim who opens the scoring. Of course, who else? He works best in a two in this one. Even Robbie Keane was in on the action. Dudley Hill are having a terrible time at the moment. Not a good run for them right now. And it's Badgers who take a 2-1, 2-0 lead, potentially into the halftime. Could there be more in this in the first half? Cancel the transfers. It's a penalty and Hedman gets set off. Steve is having none of the luck. All of the voodoo that was over Fulchester not long ago is is obvious. it's obvious that who's inherited Fulchester and Dan's bad luck. I presume Abiati for someone, for Joey G, centralized Vogel. That's what we're going to do. Is there going to be a penalty as well? Presumably so. Um, as is for me, can't remember my formation. Well, it's the normal one, isn't it? Let's see if Zigalko set his penalty taker. That would be interesting. It is, and he misses it. As you do, as you do. Excellent. Perfect. Right. Well, four shots for Badgers, all on target. One for Dudley. Dudley Hill. Everyone's doing kind of badly. Thierry Henry especially is on a five. Joe Good Johnson's on a five as well, and he's obviously gone off. So that's not gone well. We'll see if Steve wants to do anything here, tactically speaking. Tato has already said, as is Edgar Davids on a nine, predictably so. Maxim has got an assist and a goal. He's only on a seven, thanks to his missed penalty. So that's always nice. Klump is on a six. Apart from that, Badgers are going really well in this first half. I believe, yeah, Robbie Keane was the one who got the other goal, Giggs with an assist. Back to Dudley and back to Stee and any potential changes here. Obviously, chasing the game, 2-0 down with 10 men against 11. Is he going to throw in the towel? Is he going to do something? Nikiforenko and Collins. I think he had high hopes for them both coming back from injury. We've not seen a lot of them recently, but they've had some pretty difficult games, Dudley, and they've kind of not had it good. Netbit up to sim to AMC, no arrow. Good, we shall do that. And slow it down to first and move on until 60 minutes and see if anything happens. So far, no. But here is Scally coming forward, and there's Davids into the box. There's Zanetti. Zanetti knocks it forward. There's Sosa. Abiati with a save, though, doing well. And Gig strikes a free kick. Abiati with a good save. Kicks with a corner. And Abiati again getting involved. Henri now combining with Collins, but nothing comes of that for Dudley. 6 and 6 for Badges. 1 and 1 for Dudley. Hasn't really changed anything. No, Ian Carl, and no, you haven't. You are still in the pipeline to play against Ross, I think. The Sancta against Foss Road, isn't it, this evening? But we will have that on shortly, of course. Badges against Dudley is what we're looking at the moment. We'll see if Steve wants to do anything. Here are a bunch of sixes. Christian Abiati's on an 8. That's good. Badges, 8s and 9s across the board. A couple of 7s thrown in for good measure. Can't really fault any of the players. He has got Salas Mackay and Rayad, fairly attacking bench, I have to say, for the Badgers as well. Dudley are going to go Franca. Oh, really? Can't think why, Mr. Edwards. Franca for Henri, swap with Collins. That's good. And over at the Badges, we're going to go Salas for Sosa, Rayad for Zanetti. That's all. Excellent. Last half hour coming up. Badges against Dudley. Badges 2-0 up. Dudley down to 10 men. 15 minutes left to play. Now 5. Montero did something. He didn't get himself sent off or injured, so that's good. Klumper gets injured. I guess we'll just put Roy Mackay in there and hope for the best for the last minute. I mean, I don't really see anything else. Can swap him with Paredes or something, but Mackay leaving with CB with a huge arrow to SC for a laugh. Okay, let's go. No, nothing happened. Sorry. 8 and 7 for Badgers. Dominant performance. They had this one under control since they scored the goals and missed the penalty, and Dudley got a man sent off. Not great for Dudley. Paolo Maldini and Montero picked up a yellow, of course, as he does. Decent enough defensive display from them. Everyone else did very poorly. Just meanwhile, did great. 8s and 9s. Edgar Davids, Maxim Tsigalko, and a lot of the great players are maybe moving on. We will see. But anyway, that's Badgers against Dudley. Good win for them. Uh, uh, let's see what else have we got left here. Um, Savage. I think we should have a look at Stanley against. Should we have a look at Stanley against Foss Road? I think. Oh, who goes? Dimble always goes last. We can get Dimble or Dimble gets last. Oh, Scott is not here. Let's give Scott a chance. Actually, Mike. That's Fulchester. I'm not sure if Dan is here. Okay, who is here? Ross and Smuts are definitely both still here. So we're gonna go down this road. Um, Couple of changes. Argyle comes in for Hoffland. DMC line is going to be Van Bronckhorst, Keane and Gerrard. Yakubu drops to the bench. Kuhl and Totti have been swapped, and Saviola comes in up top for Trezeguet. I believe those were the changes. If I've missed anything, I'm sure that's what will let me know. But I think that's pretty much covered it. I will double check. Saviola over Trezeguet, that was the last one. Yep, I think that's good. Foss Road, I think Saviola is meant to be the right striker. I have no idea. That's not a problem. Um, Potentially, yes. Um, Now he is. So, problem solved. Um, Good. Foss Road, against Club Sancte Salutis. A couple of changes for Sancte here. Tiganov keeps his place for some reason. Rabel van der Vaart is fit. He's on the bench. Van Nistelrooy comes in. That's the big change for them. Van Nistelrooy and Saha up front in that pairing there, and Santa Cruz behind them with an arrow. That's the lineup. Um, and yeah, Sancte. I mean, story of the of halfway through the season. That's 2 wins on the bounce for them now. There's only one defeat in what, six, seven. Poor start to the season, but they've definitely been improving steadily. They beat Dudley, they beat Sloths. Got a tricky game coming up here now. Then home to Los Santos, away to Stanley, then Vikings. Um, yeah, Sancte are the team that looks as if they're pushing to get into the playoffs at the moment. They obviously have to make sure that they stay fresh, and Oliver Kahn continues his good form. 35 years old, but still going strong. And it would be great for him to start getting some goals out of Van Nistelrooy. I mean, we saw him with Haggis. He had a great season there with 16 and 27, very very strong. Then struggled a little bit and hasn't yet found any real form for Sancte. But we will see how he does this evening. Rocky Santa Cruz has done pretty well. Luis Saha has also chipped in with a couple of goals, so we will see. There's definitely chances for Sancte to get something here, but uh, Fox Road, who haven't had a great deal of luck themselves recently, they are a strong side at home, and they are a strong side overall. Very, very strong lineup, and they are, of course, second in the league. So you probably have to say that the home side are the slight favourites here. But let's see how it goes as we fire into this one with Foss Road taking on Sancte. I'm glad Rocky Santa Cruz is getting a run. Hope he's shit this week, though. Well, potentially. It's always good to see him. He always does good in home saves. I never buy him, but he always does good wherever he is. Bayern, I guess, somewhere. Not at Blackburn. Did he want Blackburn in real life? I think he went to Blackburn, didn't he? Oh, and it is Van Nistelrooy, and it's not Van Nistelrooy. The goal was ruled out for offside. Talking him up before the game, obviously didn't do him any favors in that particular scenario. But it's been good for Sancte. They're definitely in it. They're creating chances. They had the goal ruled out for offside, which is never a good sign, of course. But they're holding their own coming up to half time. Let's see if they can continue to do that. And indeed they can. They go into the break. It's 0-0. 6 shots for Foss Road, but 4 and 3 for Sancte. That's a good away performance against the Unicorns for sure. Um, 9 for Oliver Kahn in the goal. Riquelme is down on a 6, so is Van Nistelrooy and Saha. Sean Davis is the one who's been doing all the heavy lifting. 31 passes and 7 tackles. Solid next to him has been Smertin as well, who hasn't tackled anything but done a great job in the air. I'm not entirely sure how he's down on a 6, but That's how it is sometimes. David Prutton, Van der Vaart, and Brouwers are their options on the bench. For Forest Roads, it's sixes and sevens. Manager won't be too happy seeing this. Giovanni van Bronckhorst already on a yellow. He has had two key passes though. Roy Keane on a six, not made a single tackle. That is also quite unusual. Both managers goes as is until 60. So let's keep rolling. First 5 minutes, nothing happens. But there is Sambrota runs with the ball, nutmeg Merton, cross into Saviola, and Saviola's opened the scoring. What a smooth move by Road there, going up the pitch, taking the lead through Saviola, who's obviously come on. He's on the right hand side, the one who gets all the doesn't get all the headers. There is Crespo with a header, I believe it was, on the left hand side. And that's solid knowledge that I wasn't aware of that. Is it a tactical instruction or is it generally like that? That if you play with the two, the left guy gets the headers. Nah, who knows? Anyway, we're on 60 minutes. Foss Road leading 1-0 against Sancte. They had the shot here in the first 15 minutes and they scored a well worked move. Sambrota getting in there with the goal. Everyone's up to 8 and 7 now, so manager's going to be pleased. He's going to stay as is. Meanwhile, Sancte, something for the manager to consider. Will he make any substitutions here? Riquelme is still on a 6, so is Boya, Van Nistelrooy, Saha. Could be expecting a little bit more from those boys in terms of creativity. There's Van der Vaart and Brouwers on the bench. Those are the two options. Nothing too super obvious, maybe. Tikhonov is actually on a 7, so the question is if you would potentially put Riquelme up front instead of Santa Cruz in that AMC role, maybe. Um, Mark Brouwers could potentially play an AMC, but he's not really good enough in my opinion. Low jumping as well, which is never good for a guy who tries to get into the box. Van der Vaart looking decent, 19 passing, probably a central midfield role wouldn't be too bad for him. 17 creativity as well, but his right hand column is not the strongest, so of course that's going to put some people off him. There's Proton as well, but yeah, Van der Vaart for Riquelme. So he's trying him as the central midfielder. That makes sense. And Brouwers for Saha. I guess that's not gonna offend anyone either. Thank you very much for those changes. We put the speed back up and we roll until the end. We see if the visitors can find a way back into this one. Nick Matulin was involved a couple of times there with a save. I think it was he had to make Sancte creating a couple of chances. We're going into the last sort of 5-10 minutes now of double Dutch up top. Yeah, we'll see if how that works out with Brouwers and Van Nistelrooy. Can't let the goalkeeper upfield. There is Santa Cruz. There is Brouwers, and there's Van Nistelrooy drives it to the goal. Nick Matulin won't get there, but somehow Sancte didn't score anyway. 5 minutes have been added on. Keen to Sambrota. Sambrota again looking dangerous. He was the one who found Saviola for the opener. There's a yellow card for Argel. He was holding someone back. Into the added time now. It's got to be now or never for Sancte, but it looks as if Foss Road are holding on 1-0 winners in this one. The home side. 10 shots, 6 on target. Sancte's had 7 and 3. The good play continues for Sancte, even if the good result didn't come in this particular game. Just a little bit wasteful there. Van Nistelrooy and Louis Saha, Brouwers and Van der Vaart came on. Neither did anything of note. Meanwhile, back to winning ways for the home side. Giovanni van Bronckhorst on a 9, Argel on a 9 as well, looking to hold on to his spot. Totti, unsurprisingly, got a 7. Sambrota was the one who got the assist. Congratulations to Foss Road, who goes back into second space after having dropped out of there thanks to Haggis' win, both of them keeping the pressure on the leading side, East Coast, who we will see potentially next. Yep, I think East Coast against Los Santos. Mm, Savage has been here since early doors, so we will do Fulchester against Stanley first. Only one change for Stanley. It's Savage coming in for Butt, who is out injured. Stanley, of course, with those two famous wins in a row here, will they be able to beat Fulchester? Dan has a little something up his sleeve. It's a new tactic, and it's looking a lot more attacking. I think he's probably tired of not scoring goals, maybe. Who knows? Alex is on the left wing, Beckham on the right. Danielson, D'Alessandro, and Dielson is an AMC line, and they are behind Viduka with Pizarro, the other option on the bench. How will they go in this one? Fulchester, they are at home. It has been a team that looks as if they can do something Fulchester, but they just haven't fired yet. They got rid of the bad luck, then other stuff happened. couldn't score, had some poor results, won a game, lost a game, all a bit up and down, and they are losing ground in that playoff race. Stanley with 2 wins on the trot. They're going to be brimming with confidence, but can they turn it into a third win in a row? That is the question. Um, Oh, a bunch of chances already here. A yellow card being dished out as well. I think it was Ayala who picked that up one. And it's Fulchester who opened the scoring. Westerveld was out of position. Fulchester going for it here. They're leaving gaps at the back because I've seen Stanley with a couple of good chances. There was Rossini with one as well. But it's been paying off for them so far. Phil Neville, of all people, runs unchallenged forward, finds the back of the net, and equalizes for Stanley. They are definitely turning into a side to be reckoned with, the Stanley boys here. But it's David Beckham who puts Fulchester back in the lead. Exciting game, this one. Plenty of chances both ends of the pitch. And yeah, 5 shots for Fulchester, but 7-5 for Stanley. How are they 1-0 down? Sander Westerveld, who has been fucking garbage for them. Apologies for swearing. How he's still in goal, I have no idea. I mean, on paper he might be better than this Marcus fella, but he's been. I don't know. I don't know, man. But Mike, if you like him, it's cool. It's up to you. I don't mind. I don't get it. But anyway, I was a bad manager, so don't listen to me. Uh, Robbie Savage with the assist, coming in and filling the shoes of Nicky, but very, very well. Marcus on for Martin. Oh, you don't make any. No, 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 no. Don't make substitution based on my poor judgment, please. What, you genuinely want Marcus on, or it's just because I'm rambling on about it? Taking him off captain would help. Indeed, indeed, there are very few goalkeepers that should be captain, I would say. You can leave. You can auto captain swap keepers. Okay. Thanks, Mike. I don't know why some people listen to my rants, but there we go. Mike Viduka has got a 9 and an assist here. Um, Marcus comes on and it auto keeper. Okay, cool. And yeah, for Fulchester, yeah, I don't think there's any reason to make any changes for them at the moment. Um, let's see what Stanley will do in the second half. I'm hoping goals. I'm hoping goals for them. I mean, good solid first half, plenty of shots. Just unlucky not to have scored any more. 8-5 and 5-2 for Fulchester. Nothing really happened there, of course. As you saw, Marcus is there. Marcus on a 7. Yeah, you see, it's already getting better. We've got Didier Agat. Mike says keep going. We've got Agat on the bench, Semak, but Mike is happy enough to keep going. Fulchester, probably happy enough to keep going as well, given that they're in the lead and their options on the bench. We shall put this up to full speed and run the last half hour and see if Stanley can. And they can. It's Rossini who finds the back of the net, equalizes for Stanley. Now it's just a question if they can, if Marcus can prevent Fulchester from retaking the lead, or if he will go down Vesterwald's road and do something that the manager will not be too happy about, but it looks as if they're going to hold on. 2-2. Let's slow this down just a little bit. That's a free kick. There's 3 minutes to be added on. And there comes Rossini and Savage trying to combine, but it's Alex down the other end. Alex is body checked by Salihamidzic. Biduka is, of course, still there, ready to counts on any chances given. It's Alex comes forward, Stanley hold on to the ball, Phil Neville getting involved there. Now it's exciting times. It's going to be the last minute here. Materazzi comes forward. There's Ayala. There's Petrov. There is Marcos catches the ball and kicks it upfield, and that's got to be the final whistle. Stanley hang on for another game without a defeat. Is that 4 on the trot now for Stanley? He's had one pass and missed. He did, but he kept a clean sheet in the second half, and you picked up a point away to Fulchester. So it's not all bad. And Marcus has gone up to and completed 2 passes and a key tackle. Yeah, yeah, you're the kind of champ here, I would say. Indeed, indeed. Fully deserved point away from home for Stanley. A little bit of a brighter outlook for Fulchester. They have had a better defenders early on in the season. Ayala came in, he did exceptionally well, but in the last 3 games, it's been a little bit hit and miss for him. So maybe swap him and and we will see how that goes for Fulchester in the next game. Anyway, Duca picks up man of the match. Excellent performance by him. Fulchester 2-2 against Stanley. Great game, very entertaining. Don't think the home manager will be too happy about it, but I presume the away manager will. We'll keep in markers in. Well, we'll see how that goes. Last game of the evening, Los Santos. I've not seen Scott about, but we're going to run with it now. And Dimple is here, or was here at least earlier. A couple of changes for Los Santos. In force, Guerrero comes in at central midfield. Sola Jr. is at AMC. We've got Sinoni at right back and Silvestre at DC. That's thanks to uh, Henshaw being out injured, Dyer being out injured, Rosicki being out injured as well, and I can't remember what the last problem was, but poor performance perhaps. But anyway, yeah, Sinoni has to go out there. Yeah, yeah. So that's how Los Santos line up. And yeah, as mentioned there, the informed side only conceded one in the last four and won three of them, and they pushed up to third place. And of course, East Coast stuttering a little bit. They went on a great run here with a couple of wins, and then they had a draw with Haggis and a 1-0 defeat to Stanley. They've got two home games coming up now, Los Santos and Stackington. Dimble will no doubt be looking for them to pick up the pace again and try and find a way back to winning ways, and for East Coast to consolidate their spot at the top of the table. Los Santos are not going to roll over though, or at least I doubt they will, but we will see. Addo comes back in for I think it was Ambrosini who got sent off or injured or something. Anyway, he's not playing. It's Addo who's coming back in. Mendes de Silva um, to the bench for him. Half an hour coming up, and it's Constantino opening the scoring for East Coast. It looks as if they have been pretty much in control since the beginning, but Los Santos there with a couple of changes themselves. But will they do anything? It doesn't look like it. Bit of backwards and forwards here, just coming up to half time. Scholes getting involved there, and East Coast take a 1-0 lead into half time. Three shots for the home side, three shots for the away side. Both of them have had one on target. Um, Not been great for Los Santos. Milevski's on an 8, though. He's doing pretty well. Everyone else is struggling a little bit to find their feet against Los Santos. Against East Coast, who's been hanging on to most of the possession. I think we will see. Yeah, they've definitely had more passes here. Constantino's hardly been involved, but of course he got the ball there from Emerson and opened the scoring, and there will be no changes for Dimple, he says. So we shall run till 60 and see if East Coast can continue hold on to their lead in a very sort of evenly balanced game. There comes Ronaldinho. He can, of course, decide the game all by himself. Been a while since we've seen a lot from Robin as well. My sort of favorite player to pick out from that East Coast side. Emmanuel Petit, who's done well for Los Santos this season. Yellow card for Scholes for holding him up. We're coming up to 60 minutes here. Sinoni gets to the byline, and there is Julian Guerrero, of all people. Esposito, the Sola Jr. had a good chance there, but nothing came of it. It's been Los Santos who's been in the ascendancy here in the beginning of the second half. 5 shots, 2 on target. Lee Young, Pio Gonzalez, and Franny Jeffers on the bench. Not sure if Scott, if he had been here, would have wanted to do anything, but that's what it looks like. Fitness-wise, we're all doing well, so we shall let this one run. East Coast, meanwhile, everyone's on 8s and 7s. They are holding firm, just not really doing anything. Paul Scholes is on a yellow. Maybe the manager wants to do something here at 60 with Scalzi, but there isn't really a central midfielder on the bench. I guess Ronaldinho could play there and Castroman. Nah, I'm not sure how that really works. Um, we'll see what Dimple wants to do in terms of condition. We're looking like that, and position we're looking like this. Indeed, Amazon moving into MC, that's an option. So we shall take off Paul Scholes for Mendes de Silva, and Mendes de Silva swaps with Amazon, and that is it. Good. Let's see if that will be enough for East Coast to hold on to the lead, or if Los Santos can continue their promising start to the second half, create a couple of chances, and maybe get away with a point here. It looks as if East Coast are hanging on and creating one or two chances themselves as well. But it's Carlos Jacques, the guy that everyone's been talking about, the striker that's not a striker, the prodigy for Los Santos. He has found the back of the net, and it's 1-1. And there is a red card, though, for Lesisi. My goodness. Chairman in a pickle here. Scott's not around. Lee Young-pyo is going to come on for Pirlo. He's going to have to want to try and hang on to this one, I'm sure. Um, let's see. Um, let's see. Solar Juniors, they've both done terrible. Condition. Pirlo 72, Solar Juniors on 80. Okay, so Pirlo's going to have to come on. Lee Young-pyo is going to come on. And we're going to go like this, and hopefully the manager will be relatively happy with this. Dimble says as is. Last couple of minutes. Let's see if they can hang on. Los Santos. There's Constantino. Sola Jr. clears the ball. Ado comes forward. There's Ronaldinho. Andre pushes it away. And Sola Jr. involved again. Good defensive work from him. So paid off to keep him on. East Coast only with a one shot on target. Los Santos with 7-3. Well deserved point, you have to say, for the away side here. Julian Guerrero, of all people, picking up the assist and man of the match award. Not a lot we've seen to him, but he still has decent numbers, even though he's injury prone as hell. Has played sort of here and then for Los Santos, and not done too badly. Manager will be pleased with that. And down the other end, yeah, it's not back to the drawing board, but the East Coast will be hoping for a little bit more towards the end of the season. Obviously, sort of still sitting pretty at the top of the pile, but looking a little bit less impressive than they were earlier. Um, Good game, interesting, and yeah, some even games this evening, some evening games, some good results for some people who've been working hard to get them, and yeah, Stanley keeps up in 13th place. They're interesting. Um, Let's have a look. East Coast on 35, 7 points ahead of Foss Road, who are themselves 1 point ahead of Haggis. Closely followed by Los Santos now on 25. Northern Burn up there on 24. Exiles on 23 after that good result that they had. Badgers on 23. And then Dudley now down on 21 points. Voltaires are just behind them on 17. Not the end of the world. Sancte also on 16. Sloss, Vikings, Stanley, and Stackington. It's going to be a tough one. Yeah, that's how we are. I'll leave you with the fixtures. East Coast are at home to Stackington next time out. I thought they just played each other. Or was that Stanley who played East Coast? Apologies. East Coast at home to Stackington. Exiles take on Northern Burn in a proper sort of close to the line battle there. Phosphor at home to Stanley. Another big scalp potentially for Stanley to collect. Fulchester take on the Badgers. Haggis against Dudley Hill. Sancte against Los Santos. And finally Sloths against Vikings. All looking very good. Thank you very much for your time and patience. A little bit later. Next week, I really don't know when the show will be, but packs will be out at some point tomorrow. And you can have a look and get back to me as soon as possible. I will confirm the game week 16 as soon as I can. New signings will potentially be here. You will see in the packs. I will try and process them all after, like immediately now before I progress the game. So there should be in your squad if they go through. And yeah, indeed, so you will see them in the packs. Good. Thanks very much, guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Speak to you all soon.